Yes, she can. Yes, she can.
We are in trouble. Oh my God. Oh my God. Andy Obama just came. They came through. I'm not going to lie. This DNC convention was a major event tonight, with the Obamas taking center stage as expected. They delivered speeches that went right after Trump, hammering on crowd sizes, attacking him for his comment about Kamala Harris and, of course, emphasizing the issue of race. The Obama didn't hold back in their forceful endorsement of Kamala. And it was a defining moment for her campaign. For all the talk about her struggling to connect with black voters, especially after Trump raised questions about her ethnicity during the NABJ interview.
All I can say now, I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always
But you know
identified
what?
as a black woman.
I
She went to a
respect
historically
either
black
one.
college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do
And
you
I
believe
think,
that
I think
she is
somebody should look into that too when you ask continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
What happened tonight, I think, have changed that. Barack and Michelle have a unique ability to energize and mobilize black voters, a key demographic Harris desperately needs right now. And to be honest, their powerful endorsement could give Harris a momentum she's been lacking pretty much. She had some ever since she was endorsed by Biden to become the Democratic nominee. But right now, especially toward or amongst like black voters, there's some skeptical issue going on since Trump raised the question in regard to her race. But the Democratic machine is solidifying her position, and if this wave continues, it could spell serious trouble for Trump campaign. Hey, I'm just trying to be honest here. Conservatives need to act quickly. The focus must shift to our strength, policy, the economy, and the border right now. We need those topics to be the front of all the news in regard to Trump, especially in regard to this campaign right now. These are areas where Trump has a proven record of success and where the Democrats are vulnerable. Americans need to be reminded of how much better off they were economically under Trump. Lower taxes, fewer regulations, job growth, and energy independence. And on immigration, the contrast couldn't even be starker. Under Biden, the border has been a disaster with record-like crossing and chaos, while Trump's policy brought order and security. We need to emphasize that. The Democrats will continue to ride this wave of rhetoric, but we must cut through the noises with facts and clear, compelling vision for America. If we allow the momentum to stay with Harris and the Democrats, especially after tonight, it will be tough to return the tide right now. But by focusing on the issues that matter most, economic growth, border security, and American values, we can shift the momentum back in our favor. We have to do that. This is a critical moment, and we can't let the Democrat dominate the narrative. Conservatives need to rally, double down on our strength, and remind the American people why Trump's policy worked for them. And if we do that, we can stop this wave and regain the upper hand. The stakes are too high to let this slip away. If we don't move fast, it could be a wrap for the
I
Trump
think Michelle
campaign
Obama's speech was
and the
probably
Trump
the
presidency.
most effective, powerful political speech I've ever heard. It was rather remarkable.
I didn't know how much I missed them. I missed them. I missed that. I miss hearing that. Biden did something important last night, and he transferred the machinery of the party to Kamala Harris. The Obamas renewed the magic of the movement. That's what they were transferring. And they did it beautifully. They did it powerfully. Obama used nostalgia in a beautiful way. He didn't say, make America great again, we're going to go back. He reminded everybody of the best things about our families, about our neighborhoods. That was beautiful. And then Michelle, she wasn't doing the minister role. She was really doing the coaching role in that she called it right out. She said, you guys, she talked about the affirmative action of generational wealth. She talked about the luxury of whining and cheating that other people don't have. But she didn't stop there. She also called the left up. And she said the whining on the left needs to stop. The Goldilocks, they're not perfect. This was a masterful act of leadership. It was a sacred task. They took it on well. It was like an oasis. I didn't realize I had been in a spiritual desert until they created that oasis on that stage, and they did a beautiful job tonight.
They tried to compete with him. They tried to compete with him, insult for insult, anger for anger, and what they're saying is we can do better than that. That's not who we are. That's not who we should want the President of the United States to be.
Scott?
Well, first of all, I think the Democrats should be congratulated for this night. It was well produced. The music, the Obamas, the whole thing worked for them tonight. I think the contrast that I see, and I don't know which is going to win, but we're seeing the contrast of the politics of combat versus the politics of compassion. That's what the Obamas were trying to set up tonight, in my judgment. I should warn my fellow Republicans that we heard two of the greatest political communicators in the country tonight. Now, we had Hulkamania.
Yeah.
The Democrats have Obama-mania. They ripped the roof off of this place tonight. These Democrats are fired up. They're not playing, okay? Yes, they say things that are exaggerations. They do say things about Trump and the Republicans that are outright lies. But the convention is working for Harris, at least as of today. The gap that I still see in all these speeches, as good as they were, is that she's in the White House right now. Democrats have controlled the White House for 12 of the last 16 years. And for all of the talk about division and the problems in the country and people are hurting, Democrats have mostly controlled this country. Trump had it for 4. The Obamas and Biden had it for the rest of the time. And somehow, it's still all Trump's fault, and somehow she hasn't been at the center of it. So to me, that's still the glaring hole in this campaign that hasn't yet been solved at the convention. How do you explain all of the problems that will be solved by the person who is currently in there for the last 3.5 years, who is supposed to already be working on solving it? But bottom line tonight, this convention is working for them. Michelle Obama she's an incredible speaker, and you cannot deny the power of what happened in the hall tonight.
Scott?
I agree with Scott. The Democrats' convention may have been impressive in its presentation, but it's important to remember that Harris has been in the White House for nearly 4 years. If she had the solutions to the problems she's now highlighting, why hasn't she implemented them already? This raises serious doubt about the sincerity of her message. The Democrats have controlled the White House for 12 of the 16 years. During this time, they've had ample time or ample opportunity to address the challenges facing the nation, from economic struggles to social divisions. Yet, despite the prolonged control, many of these problems have only worsened. Now, Harris is trying to distance herself from these failures while simultaneously claiming credit for the administration's successes. Doesn't make sense. This contradictory messaging exposes the lack of genuine leadership and accountability within the Democratic Party. For years, Democrats have blamed Republicans for the nation's woes, but the truth is, they've held power for the majority of the last 2 decades. If their policy were truly effective, America wouldn't be facing the crisis it is today. Kamala Harris's attempt to position herself as a fresh start is nothing more than an attempt to evade responsibility for her own role in these failures. Kamala Harris and the Democrats are quick to point fingers at Donald Trump, claiming that he's the source of the nation's problems. But this narrative falls apart under scrutiny. Trump was in office for 4 years, while the Democrats have had control for far longer. If the country is as divided and troubled as we claim, or as they claim, much of the blame must fall onto their shoulders. Harris's campaign hinges on the idea that she can solve these issues, but her track record suggests otherwise. The Democrats' strategy is to deflect blame onto Trump, but the reality is that they've been in control for most of the past years. Harris was part of the administration that oversaw rising inflation, a chaotic border situation, and increasing social unrest. Expecting her to now fix this problem is like asking the arsonist to put out the fire. It's mind-boggling. The Democratic Convention may have been well-produced, but it's important to look beyond the spectacle. Kamala Harris is trying to sell herself as an outsider who can bring change, but she's been at the center of the very administration that created many of the problems she now promises to fix. The Republican Party, by contrast, offers a clear alternative rooted in accountability, genuine solutions, and a respect for the voters. As Americans head to the polls, they should ask themselves, do they want more of the same failed policy, or are they ready for real change? The choice is clear.
Our way, we don't have the luxury of whining or cheating others to get further ahead. No. We don't get to change the rules so we always win. If we see a mountain in front of us, we don't expect there to be an escalator waiting to take us to the top. No. We put our heads down. We get to work. In America, we do something. And throughout her entire life, that's what we've seen from Kamala Harris. The steel of her spine, the steadiness of her upbringing, the honesty of her example, and yes, the joy of her laughter and her light.